Jindal Stainless Hisar, they posted a rather good set of numbers in the third quarter. The volumes did jump up by more than 20%. They have reduced their finance costs, telling you that they are repaying some debt as well. And in the past, couple of weeks, the company has been in focus because the union budget announced a couple of measures. So we'd like to know what's the way ahead, as well as what's the impact of the budget 2021 on the company. Mr. Vijay Sharma, the director of the company, joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Sharma. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, we'll get to what happened in the budget in just a bit, but give us a few details first. You've done double-digit margins. Do you believe that Jindal Stainless Hisar can continue with these margins going ahead? And how do you see the mix change? Currently, you're selling more than 90%, I think, in the domestic market. Is that likely to stay?
Good afternoon, and thanks to CNBC for this interactive session. Well, I heard a few things about the budget. So I will start with the outlook part, and I also heard comment on the steel. First of all, I think I need to explain a difference between steel and stainless steel, because sometimes it gets mixed up. You see, stainless steel is less than 3% of the total steel consumption in the country. And also, because of its unique properties, it has got a totally different application pattern and the consumption pattern. In fact, in infrastructure and construction, practically there is no usage of stainless steel. It goes into other areas. In infra and construction, very limited, that to decorative. So the price increase and things like that, I think it needs to be looked into from that perspective. Now I come to the union budget because it has an impact on the outlook. I would like to comment from two perspectives. One is on the company, and also second is on the industry. First of all, the industry overall appreciates the growth spur which is likely to happen because of the budget. Specifically, industry appreciates that 2.5% import duty to curb the inverted duty structure on the scrap, whether carbon steel scrap or the stainless steel scrap. However, though a few decisions which could have been made in the right under the right faith, but they are extremely detrimental to the domestic stainless steel manufacturers. These two being suspension of a CVD on China and revocation of a provisional CVD on Indonesia. I would like to give some perspective.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma, we get that point. We know that the duties that have been withdrawn, that will lead to higher imports, as you're saying, from Indonesia as well as from China. So give us a couple of details then. We have all these numbers with us. Give us a couple of details. Post withdrawal of these duties, how does the domestic prices compare to imported stainless steel? If you could give us a brief number on that, please go ahead.
I will like to respond in two ways. Yes. One is pre-budget, the change in the prices which were rather increased. You see, if I see the last 4-5 months, the raw material, which is about 70% of the stainless steel cost, it is practically imported. In India, there is a very limited scrap availability. Nickel doesn't exist here. So if I talk about nickel, it grew by 40%, carbon steel 65%, stainless steel scrap 37%. And when in a country where the import intensity is 24%, and there are 7-8 players in the organized sector and about 1/3 in the MSME sector, so the price increase has to be aligned with something, and that alignment is the international prices. In case of Indian domestic stainless steel industry also, the prices were rather less than the price increase of the raw material. So that is the pre-budget situation. However, somehow it is being perceived that the prices increased too much. But stainless steel as well as steel, they are cyclic in nature. I'm talking about stainless steel. The prices were absolutely aligned with the raw material and also the international prices, and these were much, much less than the steel increase prices. Now coming to the post-budget scenario. Like I said, in the stainless steel supply side ecosystem, there is more than 35% capacity which is available with MSME. There are 7-8 players in private sector. We are there. We have got about 38% capacity of the total 50 lakh tons capacity available in India. Then there is SAIL. But all these players, they have been under the financial stress. Jindal Stainless Group had been under the CDR for 10 years. One of the players is under disinvestment. Somebody is in NCLT, somebody is in BFR. And we are worried that with these budget decisions, unless they are taken back, the MSME sector, which is highly dependent on only the stainless steel and the ecosystem around the primary manufacturers, it is going to be wiped out. But now I come to the outlook for the Jindal Stainless Hisar Limited. You would have seen that we have
Mr. Sharma, if I could just interrupt you, and I'm sorry, but if you know, we're running short of time, so if I could just ask you specifically about this quarter, if you could just give us some guidance in terms of the volumes, because you did around 22% growth, as well as your margins, which improved year on year. It's at around 12.3%. These two factors specifically, volumes as well as margins.
Okay, there are multiple reasons for this situation. One is the economy growth, revival of the from the COVID, and we were expecting it. Some segments have been doing very well, whether it is the decorative tube segment, it is auto segment, it is wagon segment, and also some initiatives. We have been doing many operational efficiency improvements and the processes and the better services and the product mix. And yes, the average realization increases also because of the increase in the raw material indices, whatever I said just now. I would also like to comment on the outlook for Jindal Stainless Hisar Limited. As you are aware that right from the nuclear application to automobile, railway, transport, process industry, and also we have got good reach into the exports markets also. So we are very confident that though the industry needs a level playing field because of the inherent incompetitiveness of the Indian economy, because of the logistics cost as well as the cost of capital, despite of that, we are upbeat that by the product mix change, organization agility, we will be able to sustain. However, the domestic industry needs level playing field. China and Indonesia, they are known to be providing the subsidies to the range of 20 to 30%. And industry is not able to understand why this floodgate opening has been done for China and Indonesia. So that is a request on behalf of the industry, because a level playing field is essentially required, because the current profitability numbers, in fact, they are not adequate, because company like ours, we want to have the hand holding with the government of India to support the Make in India vision. And if these profits are not doubled, how can somebody expand? How can we grow? So that is a request. But yes, as a company, we are quite upbeat. We have a positive outlook. We will be able to have good results now onwards also.
Okay, all right, Mr. Sharma, we would like to hear more out of you, but for the time being, it's apparent that you are not happy that duties have been reduced. We would like to understand the price differences and also the impact, but that for another day. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, on that note, though, we'll slip